We're sitting in front of some cabinets that I recently painted, and it got me thinking about what you need to consider or think about if you're thinking about painting your kitchen. So today on Woodworking with Wes, we're going to talk about 10 things that you need to think about before you think about painting your kitchen real seriously. So let's go through. Let's start off with number one is the condition of your cabinets. Now, by condition, I mean inside and outside. When you look at the inside of your cabinets, I mean under your sink, is it water damaged to the point of beyond repair? Do you have mold underneath there that you don't know about? But are your cabinets in really good shape? Now there were a lot of cabinets built 25, 30 years ago that are still in excellent shape. They're just in need of some paint and some refurbishing in order to be brand new looking again. So those are the things to look at when you consider the condition of your cabinets. Number two on the list is repairs. When I'm talking repairs, I'm thinking of damage to the cabinets, nicks, scratches, and I mean scratches enough that you would have to deal with before you paint. Damage to the corners of your cabinets. Do you need to fill the holes for hardware, for new hardware? Things like that. So consider the amount of repair work that needs to be done as you get ready to consider your paint. Number three on our list is cabinet materials. And when I'm speaking cabinet materials, I'm talking what kind of wood are you painting over? Now, some kinds of wood are easier to paint over. They're nice and smooth. You'll want to do your prep and it will be nice and smooth, ready to take your paint. Some types of wood like oak and ash are very grainy woods, rough, coarse. There's the better word. They're coarse. And you might need to fill the grain and have it ready to be a smooth finish when you get all done. But the type of wood is a consideration. It also is a consideration when you begin to choose your paint, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. But anyway, just make sure that you know exactly what kind of wood you're painting over so that you know what you have to do to make sure that your paint job, when you get done, is correct. Number four on our list is the surface preparation that you would need to do to your existing cabinets in order to prepare for the paint. Now, by surface preparation, I'm talking about filling and sanding and being ready for the paint, because some wood is going to have to be, or some surface is going to have to be prepared to receive and adhere good to the paint. You need to make sure that you have the surface ready for the paint. The repair work needs to be done, the filling needs to be done, the sanding needs to be done. All of those things need to be done in your prep ready for paint. Now that you've got your surface prep all done and taken care of, it's time to choose your paint. Be sure to talk with your local paint provider. Find a good cabinet paint, one that they would recommend that has durability to prevent scratches or chipping or peeling. Find out whether or not it needs to have a primer underneath it. Find out whether or not you need to fill the grain, like on oak, would you need to fill the grain first in order to have a nice smooth coat of paint when you're done. Be sure to find out all of the information about the paint, and part of the paint is choosing your color. Does the color require 2 coats or 3? Is it going to be the kind of color that you want to have done? Do you want multiple colors? Do you want dark bases and white uppers? That's a very common trend right now. White is a great color, very popular. But anyway, you'll need to choose a color and find out all of the nuances that go along with color choice. Number 6 on our list is application. How are you putting your paint on? Are you going to use a paintbrush and roller? Are you going to spray? Are you going to even hire to have it done, or are you going to do it yourself? Application is big. You need to make sure that you know how you're going to put it on, because that requires some additional thought when you get ready to paint. Number 7 on our list is ventilation, especially if you're spraying. You want to make sure that you've got proper ventilation. And especially if you're spraying, to go along with ventilation a little bit, part of getting ready for a spray job especially is Do you have to tape off the walls and the floor and the countertop and be ready for that overspray that you've got to ventilate? So ventilation is very important. You don't want to get into a situation that is unhealthy, too much overspray, too much cloud in the air. Wear a proper mask. Make sure that you are safe in your application, and ventilation is a big part of that. Number 8 on our list is drying time. That's something you need to consider, especially if you have multiple coats. If you're going to do multiple coats, what is the suggested drying time from the paint manufacturer? What kind of drying time do you need to allow before you move back in or put your hardware on or even close off the ventilation so you can breathe in there? Drying time is a big consideration, and you should be able to get more information on that from product manufacturer specs and warnings. Number 9, cost. Always a factor. Is it worth the cost? How much cost is going to be involved? What is the cost of the paint? What is the cost of the labor, yours or hired labor? What is the cost of hardware if you're going to replace the hardware? Cost is a thing that you should consider in getting ready to paint your cabinets. Always consider before you start, how much is this going to cost? And then the number 10 on my list anyway is it worth it? Is it worth all of the labor, all of the cost, all of the time, all of the prep, all of the repair, all of that? Is it worth all of that? So make sure as you do your considerations of what you have to do is it worth it when you get to the final product? Is your dream kitchen at the end of all of the other considerations that you have to do? If it is, get ready to paint. And we'll be happy for you if you get what you desire on Woodworking with Wes.